Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
Guys, I want to start out this video by showing you this clip by Kevin O'Leary. Us as XRP investors understand that for this market to take off, we need clarity. But what Kevin O'Leary is going to show you in this clip, just how exciting it will be when we get regulations, and I think we are in that process right now as we watch this Ripple SEC case take place. So listen up, and then I'm going to break this down for you.
When we get policy and the regulator regulates, that's not a negative thing. The spigots of capital are going to flood into this sector like you've never seen. And so for those of us that can invest in it now, you're getting ahead of what's going to be a huge wave of interest when policy occurs. I predict in the next 10 years that crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin, all of this innovation will be the 12th sector of the S&P. Now, why do I say that? Because Bitcoin is not a coin, it's software. Ethereum is software. Avalanche is software. Helium is software. Solana is software. It's all software. And the smartest hands over keyboards today in the world are developing on the chain and bringing innovation to financial services, which in the end is the largest sector on earth.
Kevin O'Leary tells us right here that the financial services sector is the biggest sector on earth. And we know this is the sector Ripple and XRP are specifically targeting disrupting. Ripple and XRP disrupting this sector is going to be such an obvious choice for massive institutional investors like Kevin O'Leary, but also the biggest investment firms in the entire world. They are going to see what Ripple and XRP are doing to disrupt this insanely large market, and Ripple and XRP are going to be a no-brainer for them. But the one thing we need for this to occur is regulations. These massive institutional players can't step in until the regulations are clear, and that is exactly what Kevin O'Leary is saying here. But what is good for us is Ripple and XRP investors are watching these regulations be created right before our eyes. When this Ripple SEC case is over with and all lawsuits do end, we will have the clear regulations we need for the big players to step into this industry, and that's what makes me so bullish about accumulating these game-changing assets at these ridiculously low prices. And how low are these prices, you might ask? Well, if we take a look at this XRP price chart from Crypto Bull XRP, we can take a look at what we should expect from XRP in the future based off what it has done in the past. The XRP price chart, in my opinion, is one of the most interesting price charts out there. We can see that XRP loves to form these huge symmetrical triangle patterns before exploding to the upside. We can see a massive symmetrical triangle pattern was formed between 2015 and 2017 before the XRP price chart ripped to the upside. We then formed another triangle before once again ripping to the upside in insanely parabolic fashion. If we take a look at where we are in this chart, we can see that we are at the very end of yet another symmetrical triangle. Based off looking at the past formation, we can see that when XRP breaks out of these symmetrical triangles, we expect parabolic price movement to ensue very quickly after. I have a feeling that is exactly what we're going to watch play out again, and that's why I am accumulating as much XRP at these prices as I possibly can. Once the price rips to the upside, I am not going to be able to accumulate nearly as much to make a total position change in my overall bag. That's why I'm using these low prices right now to accumulate XRP, because I know when it rips, I will be priced out very quickly. So now I want to touch on some of the stuff going on the regulatory front, starting off with something very interesting happening at the SEC. So if we take a look, it looks like the Biden administration is going to be naming 2 new SEC commissioners. And I started to do some research on one of them, and I found this tweet by XRP Darren about this guy Mark. What is so interesting about him is he actually has been working on the Biden executive order and specifically on the crypto innovation behind financial markets. If we take a look at who is involved in this report, we can see that Ripple's name is right on it. What is also so interesting about this, it was actually written in tandem with a Ripple board member named Craig Phillips. This is super interesting for two reasons. One, we know the SEC has lacked a lot of staff who have been willing to push some of this financial innovation forward, specifically in the crypto sector. You've seen countless different members at the agency refuse to even talk about crypto, but if they did so, it was always in a negative tone. Right here, we have a member who obviously knows pretty well that cryptocurrencies are going to be very significant in transforming our financial system, but we need the regulations to do so. I think this is a very positive sign for crypto in general, but it obviously just gets even more positive when we see that this person worked directly with Ripple. This honestly makes the whole Ripple SEC case seem so comical, because now we're watching a new commissioner join the SEC who is literally working with the company that the SEC is suing, saying that this company was irresponsible with what they were doing with their XRP. They are saying these comments, meanwhile, they are hiring board members that worked with Ripple specifically to draft a policy around the future of crypto regulations. It makes me think even more than ever that everything we're watching right now is a show. It's a stage to create clarity. We have a market that desperately needs clear-cut regulations, and we don't want corrupt politicians being the one to draft these policies. In my opinion, what we're watching play out right now is a show in the court to create clarity. The SEC knew they didn't have the merits to win this case, but they brought it to the court anyway to hash out some of these fundamental issues that are going to be used to define the blockchain space in the future. They had to do it through the courts because Congress simply wasn't acting fast enough or necessarily had the knowledge to make some of these hard decisions. Congress has consistently let us down on important regulations, and I have a feeling that in order for Congress to even start making these regulations, they needed a foundation to build the rules around, and that's why I believe the SEC went after Ripple in the first place, and that's why I believe this will ultimately be known as the Ripple test, and Ripple will be the company that forever changes the blockchain industry. Alrighty guys, last of all, we had to go over this. There was a brand new filing out of the SEC in the Ripple SEC case, and honestly at first it looked like a nothing burger, but Bill gave us some fantastic analysis of what was going on here, and it actually makes us believe there is another bombshell the SEC is trying to prevent from getting out there. So this document filed by the SEC had to do with some corrections to some of their early documents they had given to the court. And while these corrections actually didn't have much significance, what Bill pointed out was huge. He said, how could these notes of meetings with Grunfist in 2014 and Coin Center in June 2017, which apparently by her amended declaration concerned ICOs, be relevant to this case and discoverable at all unless there is evidence in them that the SEC considered cryptos outside an ICO context, not as a security? So Bill went through these documents because the SEC asked for them to be reconsidered and noticed something weird. He noticed that these documents had to do with whether an ICO was legal or illegal. But what was so interesting about this is the Ripple case never involved an ICO. So how could these notes be relevant to the case unless in these notes it specifically stated that crypto companies that didn't do an ICO were legal? So then he goes on to say, wouldn't it be ironic if these documents show that in June 2017, the SEC looked at Ethereum as a security because of this ICO thing, because it did an ICO, but then looked at older cryptos such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, and XRP as non-securities? So Bill is pointing out that Ripple is asking for these documents that are specifically pertain to the SEC's notes around what a legal ICO was, but he's pointing out that these notes would only even be relevant to this case if they specifically stated the fact that coins that did not do an ICO were non-securities. This is definitely something we need to be paying attention to, because if the SEC had stated that coins that do not do an ICO are not securities, this would dismantle their entire case, and this is something that the SEC is not going to want Ripple to get their hands on. Now, the last thing I want to cover that I think is so important for everyone to understand is just about how long this case is taking. Guys, this case has gone on for so long, but Bill points out that this is just par for the course when it comes to lawsuits.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.